Hello and welcome to Coffee with Carey. Appreciate you stopping by today. I hope you saw the title and didn't just randomly end up in the intro of my episode. I was very surprised to find out that many people aren't dating because they have a fear of dating. I was a guest on somebody's podcast. No. It was Clubhouse. Clubhouse, that app where you can have a room full of people that come and listen to some speakers talk about something. So she invited me to talk about dating, to be the matchmaker / dating coach of this conversation. And the entire talk was about overcoming the fear of putting yourself back out there again. And it got me to thinking, because honestly, I've never worked with anybody who flat out said, I'm afraid to get back out there, or I have fear of dating. I knew there's apprehension about that if you haven't done it in a very long time, but actual fear around this was a new concept to me. And I was thinking about it, and I decided that there's a skill set, that if you have this skill set, how do you overcome fear? You're prepared for what's to come so that you can bypass the fear with your preparedness. So I thought, let me share with you the skill set that would make you be prepared to put yourself out there dating, all the things you need to have or be, and ways of thinking about things so that you don't have to have fear when you think about getting out there and dating. Shall we? Let's do that. That's what's on the agenda. First up on this list would be something we talk about very often, something I personally am working on, and that is being a good listener, right? If you are not open to hearing what somebody says on a date, you're going to be at a disadvantage here. So one of the skills required to put yourself out there on a first date and any subsequent date is the ability to at least appear to be listening. No. You've got to be asking follow-up questions. You have to hear what they said so that you can ask them to expound on that in places that what they're sharing with you is of interest to you. So you've got to be able to block out all the distractions, and especially the one in between your ears that's talking to you throughout this experience if you're approaching it with fear to start with, and tell that little voice to be quiet because you're trying to pay attention to what this person, this intriguing human, is trying to share with you so that you can learn about who they are. So number one would be good listening skills. Number two, I would say, is respect. For yourself, sure, but that's about boundaries, and we'll get to that. But respect for this other person and what they may bring to the table. Don't forget, not everybody is going to be exactly aligned with your beliefs or your opinions, and being able to be respectful, not like at your Thanksgiving dinner where you're allowed to scream at people who are making no sense to you because they don't believe what you do or see things the way you do. On a date, you're not allowed to do that. You have to have respect for this person and understand that we all get to our beliefs and our opinions in different ways. As long as they're not trying to shove their opinions or beliefs down our throats, then we're going to give them the respect of taking in what they have to say and hearing them. So respect would be number two. Number three is communication, and not just being able to carry a witty, charming, intelligent conversation with a lovely volley or banter back and forth, although that would be great, but the ability to communicate even non-verbally, to be able to read not just the room, but the table, and to be able to pick up on social cues and body language, to be able to be attuned to what this person is putting out there, like, I'm picking up what you're laying down kind of a thing. So being a communicator in all ways is obviously going to be super helpful when you're trying to figure out what somebody else is thinking or how they're feeling in this situation, when in fact they actually could be the person who's more nervous. And if you can read those cues and see this in their body language, maybe you would be able to put them at ease. And what a great way to put yourself at ease by doing that for somebody else. Another skill you need to have is self-worth and knowing your boundaries and being able to enforce those boundaries. It never seems like boundaries should be the word to me, but I suppose it is. And what we mean by boundaries and being able to enforce them is that there are a lot of things that you need to be able to stand up for yourself, set limits, whether that's about your needs, what you're looking for, the speed things are traveling at in a relationship. I think your comfort level is imperative in this. I think both not wasting your time dating for somebody who's looking for something much more casual when you're looking for a relationship. Surely that's a boundary. Not going to waste my time and see you again just because you're pressuring me because you want to see me again, when in fact you're not what I'm looking for. Or any other reason that you would not want to see somebody again. You've determined there were red flags, deal breakers, or a feeling of yuck, and you're not going on a second date, but somebody's pressuring you. Know that your boundary is, I don't go out with people when I don't want to. Somebody makes you uncomfortable in any way by the stories that they tell, the jokes they tell, how close they sit to you. Knowing those boundaries and enforcing them so that you feel like you're in control of you and your space around you, that's what we mean by setting boundaries. And that's an awesome skill to be in control of when you're putting yourself out there dating. Number 5, being mentally healthy and physically healthy, I think is important, that you're not bringing along any hostility or bitterness or violence. You've been able to let go of negative things to start fresh and give this person the benefit of the doubt. The skill, yes, is in relieving yourself of those things so that you can present as someone new and fresh without bringing that baggage with you. And certainly in most situations, a great skill to bring with you is that of being confident and assertive. To put yourself out there and not be worried about what other people are thinking, because you know what you have to bring to the table and what you have to offer. And you don't find yourself during a date when somebody says something just being agreeable. You ain't nobody's doormat. You can stand up for yourself, voice your needs, your wants, your desires, all of those boundaries, and also present with an air of confidence that people find oh so appealing. So that would be next on the list. Number 7, part of this skill set would be motivation. It's easy to say, ugh, I'm not going to go, or I'm just going to cancel, or there's just somebody else I can go out with next week when I'm feeling more up to it. But the motivation and the follow through to make dates happen is a much needed skill these days. And I encourage you to be the one who has it. One person in the relationship has to have it, please. I had other stuff going on too, and I moved stuff around to make this happen, because otherwise we could go back and forth like this for weeks until we just stop talking to one another, and I'd really like to meet you. The follow through to make dates happen, and the motivation to get up off your sofa or put down your phone and turn off the TV and all the distractions and actually go out and meet somebody. That's super important. It's like the first stepping stone to dating at all. Number 8 would be resilience. The skill that you would need is the resiliency to put yourself out there after being rejected. You know it's going to happen because it always does. Not everybody likes everybody. You're going to go on dates and not feel that you want to see somebody again. And people are going to go out with you and feel that you're not what they're looking for either. So being able to handle that rejection and still get back up on the horse, the dating horse yet again, and get out there takes resiliency. And number 9 is vulnerability, right? If you're not open to letting somebody else in and you're not willing to truly be yourself with your guard down and take the chance, take the risk of meeting somebody and allowing them to know you and judge you in some way, right? They're going to decide whether you're somebody that they would have continued interest in, whether they want to get to know more about you after a first date, whether they want to keep dating you subsequently to get to know even more about you in hopes that you could be a special someone in their lives. That takes a lot of vulnerability to let those walls down and to let your guard down and let other people in. So definitely a great skill to have in that toolbox. I hope you found this interesting and or helpful. And if you did, I hope that you will subscribe to the channel. Make sure that we can hang out again sometime soon. That's my little mama down there. She's encouraging you to give the episode a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And if you ring that bell, then you'd be notified every time a new episode goes live. Appreciate you stopping by today. I'll look forward to the next time. And until then, have a good one. Frank came for a visit. Okay, Frank. Thank you, buddy. Thank you for visiting. Thank you for visiting, Frank. Yeah, you rarely do this. I'm happy to oblige you, little man. Oh, you, little man. If you don't follow me on, actually follow Tallulah on Instagram. She's Tallulah Little Girl. And sometimes I put videos of Frank up there, and he has an amazing skill I'm not sure that you're aware of if you don't follow Tallulah. I know some of you do. But he plays catch like a dog. Okay, bye. Back to remembering where I left off.